Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. It is Tuesday evening. The Mag 7 was a little red there. Apple was okay. I was saying that Apple was looking okay, and we'll go through and look at everything. Some of the small caps are looking pretty good, so we'll see what wants to be popping tomorrow. We'll go through crypto as well, and that is down, obviously. So all information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody this evening? Hope everybody had a great day. There you go. That's Microsoft, Nvidia, AVGO is down, Amazon, Google, Tesla was a little flat as well there today, and Apple was okay. So Tesla right there down a little in the after hours. Apple kind of hanging out there, pulled back at the end of the day, and then just pulled back at the end of in the after hours as well. But that one doesn't look too bad. Maybe it can spike up tomorrow, but your SPY cues, everybody was down today, that's for sure. Here's your SPY. Although it's touching that support line, and they love to bounce off of there. So, we're going to be keeping an eye on that tomorrow morning. And also your Q's doing the same thing. Look at them sitting right there on a support line that could easily bounce right off. So it's a very interesting look right there. Laptop travel, and you went to cash by 11 a.m. right there. So there you go. And let's see what else is going on with our IWM. And that bad boy is just kind of hanging out on a trend line as well. But it doesn't look the best. But again, they're all sitting on the trend lines. None of them look great with that big red candle today, that's for sure. But they are all touching trend lines. And we'll see what they want to do tomorrow. I can't promise you anything. They look like they could bounce back up, and they look like they could come down at the same time. So it is an interesting look right there. Silver right there. Even that, I don't even know if that looks good, to be completely honest with you. Their laptop travel, you were saying you switched, and we'll see. It's trying to curl up, but still coming down right there. It did bounce today. I could still see it coming back down. Gold trying to bounce up a little bit. So we'll see how they look in the morning there. And GLD right there. That doesn't look too bad. That could definitely pop off of there. Silver, it could curl up. That does look like the bottom right there off the 50. Don't get me wrong. And we'll see if it wants to go through that 20 there tomorrow. So we'll be keeping an eye on them as well. And let's go ahead and go through our list, see what's going on, what wants to be popping tomorrow if we can get a better idea. And some of these small caps might be looking good. So let's go and look at them. Like you saw right here was running up at the end of the day. And UAMY was not looking bad either. So we'll be keeping an eye on them. And let's see what ONDS is doing. It was jumping up there today. That's a drone one, not looking too bad. So keep an eye on ONDS tomorrow. Look at that bad boy trying to crawl up right there. So that's one to keep an eye on. And Galaxy right here down a little bit. And that was pulling back. That will pull back as Bitcoin pulls back. It tends to. ASTS trying to run right back up. This one's a monster right there, ASTS. And what about UMAC was running up there today? Look at that bad boy. And that does not look bad. A little bit down in the after hours, but nothing crazy right there. And it does look like it's trying to crawl up. So you could get some good play on UMAC and an ASTS right there, obviously looking pretty good. And let's see what our red wire's doing. It was pulling back right there yesterday. It pulled back a little today, but it's kind of hanging on to that 200 and the 20 right there. So it did bounce up a little bit today, as you can see. And it ran down to 2 and then tried to bounce back up. I did see Redwire and Rocket Lab right here was up and trying to bounce. Look at that, bouncing right off of that trend line right there. So they do tend to bounce right off, and we do know that they want to them dips are usually good opportunities, that's for sure. The Pro Bowl's on tonight. I don't know how many people really even watch the Pro Bowl. It's I don't know how exciting it really is, to be honest with you, so I won't even worry about it. But nuclear right here, I'd rather worry about nuclear right here, and that looks pretty good at that spot way down there. So that could get cruising. That looks like it's trying to get set up. Maybe it doesn't pop tomorrow, but I guarantee nuclear is looking a lot better, and that's NKLOR or NKLR and OKLO right here, OKLO. This wasn't looking too bad either today, so you can keep an eye on this one as well. You can see it moving up, not looking bad. SMR, that was up as well, and that looks like it's going to cruise, so you can keep an eye on them. They look pretty good right there for your nuclear sector, so they could be getting set right back up. And let's see what EOSE is up to. It was up a little bit today. still kind of bouncing around right there. We'll watch it tomorrow. Iron right here was up as well. That looks like it's trying to roll up and go up a little bit more. We'll keep an eye on that tomorrow, see if we like it. But critical metals looking pretty decent. And again, all the metal ones were looking pretty good. Earth minerals went scorch fire today. They certainly did. They started bouncing right back up, that's for sure. And MP went up today, hitting that 20, but looking really good right there. Your UAVS, that one actually has been dipping down, and that looks like it has a better look at the moment. So we can keep an eye on that. That looks like it almost tried to bottom out and trying to move right there for UAVS. So that could be a good one. And some of the drone ones are looking good, like ONDS and some of them bad boys. MOB right there, Mobilicom. And that's not looking bad either. So we'll keep an eye on all them guys right there. And let's see what our GTI is up to in our quantum and computer hardware ones. They are down there. They are trying to get set up. They are just about ready, I think. So these might be the ones that start cruising next, guys, the QBTS. And these quantum and computer hardware ones, they are all down. They got beat down pretty good. And we do know that the sectors, the money kind of switches around a little bit. So this could be a sector that's getting set back up right here. So we will keep an eye on that. QSI right there. Here's IONQ dipping down a little bit more. That actually has an interesting look. Look at that thing. It's either going to try to get curled up right there, or it's going to be dipping down pretty good right there. So IONQ, it's one of them ones where you keep an eye on it. You can't tell exactly, not all the time, but you know it's ready to do something right there. That's for sure. And that is IONQ. I think they're getting ready to get set up, to be completely honest with you. So keep an eye on all of them. And our cat right here was trying to run back up after it had been pulling back. So again, maybe you're getting the sectors, the money's just kind of rotating a little bit right here, and it's a different sector that's going to be running, and that's what we always look for, Z space down here and kind of pulling back at the moment. So there you go with your computer hardware and quantum ones. And let's see what else is going on in the market today. And we'll look at USAR. We did briefly just look at it earlier, but that was up today, looking pretty good. And UAMY right here, also another one up, and both of them looking pretty good right there. USAR and UAMY, both of them looking good after today, and they were looking good today. And that UUUU 4Us, and that one's looking pretty strong. So again, these are earth mineral ones, could go wild. This is a specialty chemical one or a chemical company, ASPI. That looks like it is trying to bottom out, but we'll make sure right there. And UNH right here still dipping down a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that. And Oscar as well, OSCR. And that could be trying to bottom out, but you could definitely come down to that 13, low 13 area. So watch that one. And MOH right here. What's that up to? Now that one actually has earnings coming up, and when are they? The 5th right there. So that's going to be Thursday. That could be an interesting one going into its earnings. So we'll keep an eye on that based solely on earnings. I probably wouldn't play it, but you guys that like earnings, you can check out Molina Healthcare because that does have earnings on Thursday. Thursday is pretty stacked though. That's for sure. And let's see what else is going on. So Nestech right here, and Ben interviewed the CFO today, and that was a good interview. And that one's pulling back a little bit, but that one should be a pretty decent one as they search for a new CEO because their CEO is retiring. And IMRX right here, not looking bad. Ross and Progressive G, that thing does look pretty good right there. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. CMG, Chipotle looked pretty good today. And didn't they have earnings, or was it yesterday? I don't really remember. It was today for Chipotle. And it looks like they beat it, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. They slid, it says. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not going to read them. But Chipotle had earnings today. Let's put it that way. Not sure if they did good or bad. It's green. Let's put it that way. So I always just look to see what happened, if it's green or not. And Cracker Barrel, look at this thing moving up right here. You have that resistance. And again, getting set up. Is it going to crawl through? I don't know if it does right there. I think you come down a little bit, get set up. And then that's going to be it does look like it wants to run right here as it approaches the end of the month right now. So I would say keep an eye on this Cracker Barrel for any dips right there. Could be an interesting one, that's for sure. You know, we've been watching it. And how about your Boyle and Gush? Boyle trying to bounce back up. Gush was way down yesterday as well. Well, Boyle was down more. I'm confused. Boyle was way down yesterday, trying to bounce back up. Gush, it was down, but it's bouncing back up today and not looking bad for oil and gas. So there you go with that one. And here's your Exxon Mobil right there. That was moving up. CVX wants to stay in the top as well. And look at that thing. That thing looks like it wants to blast right through its resistance, and Oxy trying to go back up some more. So you can keep an eye on them for some momentum plays right there, that's for sure. And that's ExxonMobil, Oxy, and CVX, and all them oil and gas ones looking pretty good right there. And let's continue to cruise right through and see what Plug is up to right here, PLUG. And that's going to be plugging along relatively soon. Just let that get set up right there. And QuantumScape, that's been way down. That one could be another one. We'll make sure that it's actually trying to get rolling. It does have earnings next week, so we'll watch for that one. What are they? Next Wednesday right there. So we'll keep an eye on QuantumScape going into next Wednesday. That's for sure. And here you go, Zach, for Rocket Mortgage. And there you are. Look at that bounce up 8%. Were we not saying that last night? And that's looking pretty good right there for RKT. So hope you were all over that. I think we played that textbook, as a matter of fact. Lucid right here. Lucid isn't looking so bad. Luis Rodriguez, we'll have to look at it. Their earnings are coming up at the end of the month, though. They have earnings. And we'll have to see if it does want to roll off that MACD there, get back into that channel. It doesn't look exactly like it wants to at the second, but it definitely can. I mean, the only reason why I say it doesn't look like it wants to at the second is because you're 20 and 50 are like kind of over pushing it down, and you're in a bearish trend, but it could easily get turned around right about this point and start going bullish. So, but it's not doing it yet. So I'll let you know if it has that look, and then it'll be a good one if it does it. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen relatively soon right down here. And that's our Lucid right there. And Rich Tech Robotics up a little bit, but nothing crazy. But does look good after that that dip right there. Not the bounce, it dipped. It did bounce up. It went up, but then it dipped down, hitting that trend line. Looks pretty good to try to get set up off of that. Galt right here. Let's see what that GALT is doing. I saw it up today. Look at this thing. Like I said, that bad boy is getting ready to run up, and it does look pretty good, Joseph Levy. So hopefully it gets really cruising for you and it gets rolling. And what did you take from the SNS Tech interview? Well, it was the CFO, and he had just mentioned basically, obviously couldn't mention any numbers because their fourth quarter revenue is coming out soon. But was saying that the company looks like it's projected pretty well as far as a business overview. So, and they just yesterday had some news right here. Sinestech, what was the news? I forget what it was. In New Zealand, that's what it was, a fertility control product in New Zealand. So they're opening up over there, and I think they will have a lot more. This could just be, guys, because it's winter time in the U.S. So obviously, and it's a cold one, like New York and all. You could see the pest population, especially with a 10 inches of snow out there. You don't really see them as much right now. But in the summertime, they'll be out in full effect, that's for sure. And that's when I bet Sinestech will really do well. I'm not going to say it's completely seasonal because it's kind of new with what they have, their product. But I would have a feeling after the beginning of this season in the spring and stuff, I bet it gets rolling. So it could be one to keep an eye on as we get into the springtime, which is relatively soon. It's right around the corner, even though it's going to snow probably some more and it's cold out there. But it also the fact that they're going to have a new CEO coming aboard, and that'll help it as well. So I think them two things right there, I think you're coming down to that bottom area, and I do think it's going to look good and get running. So I do think that the CFO today basically was saying, it's looking pretty good for the company. They could have some big contracts coming up, but obviously couldn't say anything that he's not allowed to say. So he was making sure that he was just being brief with it and speaking about the business overview and things of that nature. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and I do think that they'll be really good. And like I said, I think as it gets warmer, I think it's going to explode right here. They'll start getting into like Lowe's and Home Depot and things like that he was talking about, and trying to change the consumer packaging. I think that's a really good idea, to be honest with you. So yeah, them things could be pretty big for it, for Sinez and bump it up right there. So that was my take, to be honest. And there you go. So how about that? Laptop travel, but let's plug along right here. And that's the Nasdaq, and Galt was moving up. Like I said, looking pretty good and fun right here. That Six Flags was just jumping around. I did see it up, and then it came back down. Wanted to come down, obviously, at the end of the day, because it was up at the beginning of the day. And there you go. And play right here was down a little bit, but hitting that resistance, so nothing out of the ordinary. So let it pull back a little bit, and then it'll be a good play again. We'll keep it there because it could be setting up again. And Lockheed finally trying to pull back right here. Huntington Ingalls was up today. I did see that one. And your Northrop Grumman was running big today. Look at that thing, Luis Rodriguez. And that could be a nice momentum play tomorrow. Good old NOC. So keep an eye on NOC, and we'll be watching things. I'll keep an eye on this aerospace and defense, see if anything's setting up for Iran, or if anything looks all crazy there. So, and CVX, ExxonMobil, I already looked at them. Like I was saying, they do look really good right there, popping back up. It looks like CVX, Chevron's going to go right back over that resistance, and ExxonMobil running up. Oxy right here also looking pretty decent. So you can keep an eye on that one tomorrow. That looks really good to run. You can probably watch that. And yeah, they are looking pretty good. AMPX, is this like an oil play? I'm not even sure what they do, to be completely honest with you. But this was good today. Down like a little bit in the after hours, but it was running up there towards the end of the day. Again, it ran up at the beginning of the day. We were playing it today, and I grabbed some more for the tomorrow play right there, because we were buying it today, and I do think it looks pretty good to try to swing. So AMPX not looking bad right there, as a matter of fact. And let's see what Fly is up to. This is us getting ready to fly. Look at this thing. So keep an eye on that for stocks to set up right there. FLY, aerospace and defense right there, had been coming down, and I do think this one has some opportunity to get moving and start flying right there. Look at that bad boy. Your 20 is up there, but I think it could look pretty good. We'll see tomorrow if it looks a lot better. And that could be a good opportunity right there. Us just got beat down, but it's in a pretty bullish trend. It has lines coming everywhere. Look at this thing. It's like kind of like someone just like Dougie just took a chart and just started drawing lines all over the place with whatever crowns he picked up. That's what it looks like. But anyway, well, I'd say it's looking pretty bullish right there from the chart as of now at the moment. So obviously we're keeping an eye on Fly. That's why I've been keeping it on the chart, because I think it could be a good one. And ARM right here, a little weak right there. Looked like it was trying to get a little stronger yesterday, a little pullback right there. I'd say wait until tomorrow when they have earnings right there. Let's look at ARM tomorrow with its earnings, and we'll see if it wants to go up. A lot of earnings tomorrow, that's for sure. A lot of big ones, and so that'll be interesting. And your grab right here is pulling back a little bit, and I think it could pull back some. So, but also at the same time, guys, these things, when they have this look and they want to pull back, the very next day is like they pop up, and then they pull back a little, and then they can pop up easily. So the dips can be great opportunities as well. If you're buying dips, they usually do go right up, so you can keep that in mind. Although they haven't been going up for Oracle here. Oracle's been pulling back. Now it's in the basement. We'll see if it enters the dungeon right there. So Oracle not looking beautiful. It is pulling back some more. CoreWeave right here actually hitting that 50 right there. I saw that today and said, wow, that might just get turned around. So if you like CoreWeave, if you're a fan of CRWV, if I could type it in here, there you go. And we'll see tomorrow. It does look like it wants to pull back a little bit more. We'll have to see tomorrow if it does want to pull back or try to bounce off of that. And your Adobe right here, big old dip. I did see this bad boy. And wow, that was dipping down today. Holy cow, that dipped down even more, I think. Yeah, I saw it this morning pulling back. But whoa, that one, I wasn't really paying attention to it all day. But wow, that was a pretty big pullback right there for Adobe, I have to say. So we might have to really watch this now as it just entered the basement again. Yeah, damn is right. I didn't even see that happen for Adobe. Like I said, I saw it down a little bit in the beginning of the day, but I didn't see it get destroyed right like that. So interesting right there. Marvell was down. I did see that down. And let's see what the rest of our chart, our list is doing right here. FFAI, that Faraday future, not bad. Like I keep saying, guys, keep an eye on this thing. It could be getting set up right there. It's not looking bad. And MOBX is in that spot too. Look at this thing, guys. That's getting there too. And that has that look and curl up. So that could be a really good one. Data Vault right here. Look at this one. This one looks like it could be getting cruising. I'll have to let Daniel Javier Fitz from CNR know, because that looked like it bottomed out there yesterday. It looks like it's trying to cruise up there. And so there you are with DVLT, good old Data Vault, and FMFC right here curling up a little bit. So there you go, Doge Mama 9. And we'll see if that one can continue. It was hitting that 50, trying to spike through. And that AMPX, like I said, was up today, looking pretty good to continue tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. How about TerraWolf, guys? This one was running up pretty big today. I don't know. You'd have to look at it tomorrow. It has like that crazy curl look. Let me look at it in the after hours here. Yeah, it looks like it's pulling back in the after hours, as you can see, but we'll look at it tomorrow. But you have to be careful because it has some resistance there and right there, and it does look like it's ran up pretty well the last 2 days. We know that. So TerraWolf looking good, and we were looking at this burner right here, and it was dipping down even more. They do have earnings coming up on the 5th, which is Thursday. Like I said, Thursday is a hopping day. And maybe tomorrow, this could be a great opportunity to take a look at it. What's tomorrow? Wednesday, the day before the earnings. So, yeah, this one tomorrow might be a great one. We were talking about it today in the Discord. So, there you go with them. And let's take a quick look and see what is up with Michael Anthony's list, and yeah, that's down in the dungeon right there for Adobe. Huh, that one got wrecked right now. Whoop, I didn't even spell it right because it's so bad. I was like, oh, I still ain't spelling it right. It's ADBE right here. And yeah, that one, woo, right back into the bait. I mean, it was down there in the dungeon before, and then it really looked good to get set up until today. And I don't know what happened. Piper Sandler downgraded Adobe to neutral from overweight and cut its price target to 330 from 470. Well, that's a hell of a price downgrade right there, I must say. So that'll do it, I guess. And I don't even know who Piper Sandler is, but anyway, I guess his thoughts definitely matter right there. It matters for Adobe today, that's for sure. So anyway, let's keep on cruising through an ABEO right here. Trying to run up a little bit for Michael Anthony, not looking bad. And your D-Lo dipping down pretty good again. And your UEC right here, not bad with uranium. Maybe uranium plays get moving again. And that LW, that packaging company, look at that thing. Little dip and rip yesterday, and it's continuing its way up. Like I said, I got out of it. It just wasn't really moving that crazy or fast, but it is slowly but surely moving up right there. And his Tiger right here, TIGR, it was still down today. It was down this morning, down a little bit. And I am finally done the Tiger interview, just editing things together. And it was like 32 minutes long. So each time I did something, I kind of had to watch it again to make sure everything lined up and all that good stuff. It was kind of not a pain. It just took a couple minutes, and I just didn't have like the entire day to do it either. So I was working on it here and there, and at nighttime when I was like falling asleep, probably doing dumb stuff too. So anyway, I will definitely post that this evening. I wanted to try to post it right before we came on, but I ran out of time. I was like looked up and I was like, well, it's already 8 o'clock, so guess that won't happen. But yeah, check out the Tiger King interview. I'll have it up later on for you guys. So be sure to check that out, repost it out, and we'll be trying to help Joe Exotic get some attention, get out of prison. I mean, you gotta listen to that interview that I do with him. It's each time I talk to him, it's crazier and crazier every time. So I discussed this one case that happened around my house. I don't know if I mentioned it the other day or not. I have no idea, but it's just crazy, like stuff that goes on, and then like the sentences that these people get is just bizarre to me. I don't understand. This Joe's, I didn't realize he got 22 years. I'm sure I probably knew that, but he's been in there for 8. And then the long story short, you gotta listen to the interview. But just a story around here. I don't know if I was even telling you guys this, but the other day I just happened to see this because it was like happened in a town pretty close to me. So it was all over the place. People were posting it everywhere. And this like young dude, I forget what he even did for a living. I don't really remember, but it's not even important to be honest with you. This dude, he was not only like a sex predator, and but he was like having sex with dogs and like sending them to kid, like sending the videos to kid. I mean, he was doing all kinds of crazy shit, like just bizarre stuff. It was really wild and disturbing. And uh and then yeah, this dude he only got 6 years. I'm like, this guy, like the chronicle events that should take place for him is like he should be castrated and then hung. Like that should be what his sentence is like. Like this dude's ruined kids' lives, ruined a few animals. Who the hell knows how many people he's ruined? He's a freaking sicko. And then they give him 6 years. He'll come right back out and do it again. You already know that's gonna happen. And yeah, he got 6 years, and Joe got 22, and he's in there for shit he never even did. It's crazy. I'm telling you. I basically say exactly that, but you gotta listen to it because I go through the story of it, and then yeah, you'll see the video when I post it up tonight. You can watch it. You'll see I posted a picture of this dude, like the story. So that's what was taking me a little long. I wanted to post a couple extra pictures in there so it looked like a decent video, so it'd keep your attention and it wasn't just one straight picture the whole time. So anyway, you guys check that out later. But yeah, I mean, it's just basically bizarre to me that like, and he was saying like, like people with drug charges are in there for 15, 20, 25 years. And then you get these child molesters and stuff. They're in and out in like 6, 7 years. They have like, he called it two hands on. I never heard of that, but I guess like they had multiple cases or something. I don't even. He explains it. I don't even know what he was talking about, but of course he knows the lingo in there. But yeah, and these guys just like get up and leave. Like if no one kills them, and it seems like Joe's prison. I'm sure there's bad areas in it. That's for sure. But I sounds like because I asked them, like they like kind of separate these people a little bit because you hear some of the other prisons and these guys go there, they don't last very long. It seems like they get their heads split open and they just get destroyed, and the CEOs kind of let it happen, and everyone knows it's going to happen. They kind of warn them like, oh, this child predator's coming in or sex offender's coming in, he's going to be your cellmate. And then yeah, everybody's like, well, let's see how long that guy stays alive. And like, yeah, it's kind of crazy, which is rightfully so. I mean, who cares? They kind of deserve it. What goes around goes or comes around, right? So I guess that's punishment and what happens in prisons. But yeah, I was asking Joe about it. He said there's all kinds of them, but they get a lot of special rights there, and it does depend on what prison you're at for sure. But no prison's easy, that's for sure. I mean, could you imagine being in a federal prison? That is like, holy cow, that's no joke, guys. That is no joke at all. I don't care if you're at like the cushest one at all, like, and he's not. He's like the one in Texas. But anyway, so yeah, I'll post that video, and like I said, gotta get that poor guy out of there. I mean, I don't. He's gonna end up like croaking in prison, and that's gonna be really. Hey, could you imagine? Like this dude is like. He's probably one of the most recognizable celebrities, I would say, just based off of the fact that everybody saw that Netflix special, and he wasn't even, he was famous. He was in prison before this thing all started. And I explain it all in our conversation too. I say, like, they just took his Netflix or his YouTube footage and just kind of made an entire series on Netflix. He wasn't really participating in any of it. He was already in prison when all that was happening. So it is really, really crazy. So yeah, he's never even been out when he's been a celebrity. Can you imagine what like offers he would get? It would be pretty wild, I bet. But not even that. He just deserves to be out. He's been in there for 8 years. Like I said, you got this dude that's molested like multiple children, animals. God knows what he's up to. They sentenced him to 6 years. Like who? What the hell is that? 6 years, guys. Could you imagine? Like I said, that dude should be in there for 60 years, and then never see parole or anything. Like you just stay there, get your shit together, and maybe in 60 years we'll possibly think and see if you kind of cured yourself while you sat in prison for the last 6 decades. I mean, it's wild. I don't get it. But anyway, that's the Joe Exotic stuff. And yeah, you got to listen to that. So I will post it today. I'm all finished. And again, I spent a little extra time just kind of editing things in there and pictures to make it a little bit better. And, paint the picture better so that you could see things. So there you are with that. Let's keep on cruising through and see what's going on. So yeah, that's your TIGR. And it is dipping. I did say now Michael Anthony might be a good spot right about there, but I don't think he's on yet because I think Kramer's still on. So I'm not sure where he is. But let's do our Jolie's jams. I miss our Jolie's jumpers each morning, I must say. Rhythm right here is up a little bit, and that could be trying to bounce off of there, guys. So maybe keep an eye on that. Let's just look at our cannabis stocks. They weren't looking too bad the other day, and they weren't looking too bad today. Look at Tilray. So cannabis stocks not looking bad right here, guys. So maybe some of these guys get set up. Let me jot that down. MSOS and Tilray and all these guys, they look pretty good right there. Maybe something's going on with cannabis stock. I forget the one I did, the high on Wall Street. I'll post that tonight too. I totally forgot to do that. I just ran out of time. I'm telling you, the weekends go by so fast. It's crazy. I don't know what happens, but it's like a time warp. It's like Friday happens, and then the next thing you know, it's Sunday evening. I don't know what goes on in between. It just all happens so fast. A bunch of kids stuff to do on Saturdays, and then Sundays are just like here and gone. It's crazy. This weekend we had the Super Bowl. So yeah, Sunday I'll do we'll probably do an early show, and we'll do a little tailgate party. And speaking of which, let's look at the poly market right here. Look at that. Seattle 68%, New England 32. And it does look like, just based off of this, that Seattle's going to win as of this moment, just based off of the poly market. They're pretty accurate on things. So that's what it looks like. Looks like Seattle's in the lead right there. And this one was talking about U.S. striking Iran by, and it doesn't think it's coming up anytime soon, because like June 30th would be like a 48%, or even March 31st. I mean, like February 13th is like 9%. So I guess it doesn't think that anything's happening there either. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. So let's keep on going through our Jolie's jams and see what Blink Charging's up to. And that was down. It's just kind of cruising around down there. It's been dipping down. Sezzle was down a little bit today. And I'm telling you, this one's going to be a prime opportunity when it gets rolling. And Sterling, look at that thing. Like I say, that thing loves to run. That thing looks like it's going to be a good momentum player tomorrow, STRL. And here's your Rivian here down. That could be trying to bottom out, guys. Rivian could be getting set up. Might be one to add to the old setup list. That's not looking too bad. I kind of like that look. Not the fact that it's I like when they get beaten down like that. That. Into the basement and starting to curl. I think I'll have to look at this tomorrow. I'd probably wait a few days. Maybe tomorrow we'll see what it looks like, and maybe it gets set up for the end of the week. If not, probably next week. Rivian could be a good one right there if it does get set up the way it looks. Symbiotic right here trying to bounce back, and they might have earnings. That's in 2 days, right? No, that's tomorrow. I lied. Symbiotic is tomorrow right there. So we'll be watching Symbiotic for its earnings tomorrow. Not looking bad. That one could pop on earnings, or even pop going into earnings right there. So if you want to keep an eye on SYM tomorrow, there you go. And let's see, that's our Jolie's jams. Let's look at our laptop travel list real quick, and BMEA. Let's see what that's up to. That's just down there. It was just kind of hanging out down there. ELSE. Whoa, that one ran up. I'd have to look at it tomorrow anytime you have them crazy spikes like that. HMR, now that looks pretty good. That could continue to run up. And you had IMRX on there. I didn't even realize I wrote it down on your list. I usually don't, but wasn't even paying attention. But yeah, IMRX looking pretty good right there. And that is that prostate cancer one. INLF right there, INLIF. That ran up big the other day, pulling back. I'd have to look at that tomorrow to see if it's actually getting set up right there. LZMH, not familiar with LZ Technology. It's a China small cap. It's trying to get set up. And again, I'd have to look at that one. New cell right here. That's what that is, New Cell X. And that one, your 20s trying to meet up. That one could be getting set up relatively soon right there for NCEL and NMRA right here. Nomura Therapeutics has a little resistance over it, but doesn't look too bad. It was up over 3% today, not looking so bad right there. MPRQR right there, that could try to bounce off of that right here. You know that they love to bounce, especially when it's on the bottom and looks pretty good like that. I would say keep that on your list tomorrow. PRQR looking pretty good right there. PULM, whoop, I didn't spell that right, but let me do that first. PULM, Pole Matrix right there. And let's see, that one's been running up slowly but surely and could continue to run up slowly but surely. And RNAC right now, Cardison Therapeutics on that trend line, that could be getting ready to run as well, or at least bouncing up. Sight Sciences is SGHT. Now that one looks pretty good. I'm going to keep that on the list to see what that's doing. And I don't know what the heck I wrote down. Is it SNAL? I guess Snell. Yeah, good old Snell. I remember looking at this before. I remember you mentioned this one. And the good old Snell was running today, so I'd have to look at that tomorrow. That's an electronic gaming and multimedia one. Let's look at them. B hat right there. Look at that. That doesn't look too bad. And CTW, nah, let's see. Let me see. That one was a big dipper. EA Sports right there. Whoa, look at that big dip on electronics. What the heck is it called? Electronic Arts. That's what it is. Couldn't think of. I knew it was electronic something. And let's see if any of these want to go up here. Game House right here. That one's looking pretty good. We were looking at the other day. Well, one was just ripping up there. GIGM is that? No, that's Giga Media, not Giga Byte or Giga something. It is a Giga one, but not the one I thought of. There's that GXAI. I didn't realize that was one of them. And Motorsports Games, that's pulling down right there. That one could be getting set up. NTES. And there you go. That one's running up Snell. So there you are. A few of them, a couple of them right there trying to run up your electronic games or whatever the heck they are. And let's see what SOAR is up to. And this one was trying to run up as well. I know this one's been bouncing up the last few days. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad, but it ran up, hit that 50 right there. And you just don't, I'll tell you, hold on. Let me see what SOAR looks like over here. It's an interesting one. Yeah, I think it stays in that channel right there, so you can watch for any little pullback on it. What about that NIXX right here? And that one's way down, so just keep on watching this one for dip opportunity, a dip and rip. So we'll watch that one right there. And let's see what else is going on. So that's your laptop travel list. Thank you very much, Laptop Travel. And let me look at our SPY, which we already looked at in our Qs, but let's take a look at all that good stuff. And then we'll take a look at our Mag 7 and everybody else tonight. Our mega caps were down today. They did tumble, that's for sure, on AI disruption. I can't read. Disruption fears while value and cynicals. What the heck does that say? Silicals? Something. I don't know. Show resilience. Silicals. Something like that. Why do they use words that like I don't even know what it means. Especially when it comes to the market. Like, what does that even mean? What's it even talking about? I have no idea. But anyway, who cares? Let's look at the market. That's what we're good at. SPY right here, pulling back, obviously. And again, I was saying earlier, they could pop right back up, guys. They're hitting these trends, hitting the 50s, hitting everything. And every single time they come down on these, they tend to pop up. So I could imagine that you might see a little pop up. If it's not at the beginning of the day tomorrow, not today, tomorrow, I would think that they might get turned around by the end. That's a really good dip right there. These things are still setting up to be a bullish. Look at it, it's in a bullish state. And I even though it looks like it wants to come down there, every single time it does this, it pops right back up. I'm not saying it has to, but there's a good chance that it could do something, bounce down like this on a green day like that, come down a little bit and get ready to set back up. So just beware of that and be ready. And we'll be watching that in the morning, obviously, Sam and everybody else. And IWM right here sitting on the trend line, and we'll keep an eye on that. And there you are. What did they even do for the Pro Bowl? Did they not play like a real Pro Bowl game, or did they play like flag football? I'm just looking at it now. I had no idea. I just looked over and it looks like they're playing like flag football. No one has pads on or anything. Yeah, they play flag football now. That's probably a better idea, to be honest. It's probably more exciting than the Pro Bowl because no one wanted to even. Can you imagine you play the whole season, then you go to the Pro Bowl and you get hurt, and then like you're out for like your entire summer getting rehabbed because you got hurt in a Pro Bowl, like the All-Star game? Like that would be a nightmare. And so yeah, no one really wanted to hit each other or anything. So I guess now they play flag football. That might be a good idea. I don't know. I didn't really look at it to be honest with you, but there you are. It looks like that's what they do now for the Pro Bowl. So that is on. I just had it on and just looked over. I was like, what the heck are they even doing? But they are playing flag football. So anyway, there you go. Let's play flag stock market right here and flag the poppers. Amazon pulling back right there. Now look at them all, guys. Good pullbacks. And they're like hitting these trend lines. They could easily bounce right back up. Amazon has earnings coming up in 2 days. So who thinks Amazon's not going to bounce back? Like I said, isn't Amazon's probably going to be good off its earnings. Google down 420 right there. Look at that thing. And you have your earnings coming up tomorrow. And who thinks that Google's not going to bounce right back up right there? So I do. I think we're going to see a little bounce up. I think we saw a nice little pullback today. And we could see a little pop up tomorrow right here. And let's take a look and see what Meta's doing right there. That did pull back. Now, Meta could dip down a little bit more. That doesn't necessarily have to move at the moment. And Microsoft was dipping down pretty good. And that could continue to go into the basement. Maybe Microsoft goes into the dungeon as well right there. So we'll be watching for that. NVIDIA was down pretty good today, but hitting a bunch of trend lines could easily bounce right back up off of that. And then your Tesla wasn't too bad right there. It's kind of hanging out, and that could get curled up. That does its own thing. It doesn't care what the market's doing. And I think Tesla's getting set up right there. So what did they introduce? A new 41,000, like $42,000 all-wheel drive Model Y variant in the US lineup. So there you go. And that's what Tesla did today. So anyway, Tesla's sitting on that 420. Yeah, look at that thing sitting right around that 420 area. So Elon loves that 420 area. Take a little smoke break and then get cruising again is what he likes. AMC right here pulling back. And again, just kind of hanging out. Your GameStop pulling back pretty good today. And yeah, that's I don't know, guys. Maybe it's a dip and rip look. I don't know what's going on. GameStop CEO monumental secret plan right there. What is it? I don't know. Anyone know what it is? What is it there? Laptop travel. I know you've been following GameStop and everything. What's his monumental plan? I have no idea what he's trying to do to get this big bonus package, but I mean, you can't knock them for trying. They're throwing like $100 billion or whatever the heck they're throwing at them to do something crazy. So yeah, of course he's going to try to do everything in his power to do it. And obviously he's going to have to get the stock pumped up somehow. So he's out there talking and doing media, I guess, or doing whatever the hell he's doing and trying to buy companies. I don't even know what he's doing. So we'll keep an eye on it. GameStop. And like I said, Laptop Travel had some info on it. So we'll find out what's going on with it. Chewy right here. Look at that big dip into the basement. And then Unity was down as well. So just as I said, we should have taken them off. We should have shorted them down is what we should have done. How about Netflix still dipping down? And that Warner Brothers was down today as well. And your PSKY, I mean, this never did look good. This one actually did look like it was going to pull back the entire time. So that's no surprise right there, but that is down as well. AVGO dipping down pretty good. And MU was taking a nice dip right here. Look at this. This could continue to dip down. It had a nice dip down today, and it could continue its dip tomorrow. So we'll see. I don't know. It's making a nice base up there. It's been in the top. I could see it coming down. Maybe it touches down at that 20 and then wants to roll back up. We'll take a look at it tomorrow, see what MU wants to do, and see how we want to play that, Sam. And TSM right here was down as well. And we'll see what that wants to do in the morning there. And SMCI was up in the earnings after hours right there, up 7%. Not looking too bad. Remember, we were saying it looked pretty good going into its earnings, and there you are. And yeah, it looks pretty good. So SMCI looking pretty decent right there. You can keep an eye on that one. That looks good. AMD was way down, though, in the after hours on its earnings. So check out AMD. I guess their earnings weren't looking so good, it looks like. So I don't know what the heck happened right there, but What happened? I don't even know. I'm not reading all that. It's way too much to read. But AMD is down. I guess that's why I'm not a fundamental guy. I look at that. I'm like, whoa, that's just way too much to read right there, guys. I can't even. I get lost after like the first line. I wouldn't even know what the heck they're talking about. So it pays that I'm not a fundamental person. That's for sure. And QCOM, if I type it in correctly, here we go. It was pulling back some more, and they have earnings. That's tomorrow as well, right? Yeah, February 4th for a QCOM. And look at that. I thought it was getting set up, and it could possibly still be a bottom right there, but I don't know. I'd have to look at that. I don't know if they report before the market opens or after. I have no idea, but I'll definitely look at that one tomorrow. Let me jot that down. QCOM earnings right there. I know AMD and SMCI were today. And so, yeah, that's that. And let's continue to cruise through and see what's going on right here with snow. That's another one. Oh man, did we not say snow is coming down? Look at that dip right there. Wow, that's a good one, guys. So I'd say snow is coming down. It could come down a little bit more right there. Why weren't we putting all of these down? I don't know. But PayPal took a big old dip too on its earnings. We never did like that either. And there you go. Yeah. Didn't Kramer just say to sell SMCI, Luis Rodriguez? Inverse Kramer right there. I'm telling you. I told you that looked good going into its earnings. He just said to sell it the other day. And there you go. It went up. And anyway, PayPal took a beating right there. Intel right here. I don't think anyone likes PayPal anymore. Intel, I think that looks pretty good to try to get set up. I know it was pulling back a little in the after hours, so I'll have to look at that. And Dell right here is pulling back a little bit, but also trying to bounce back a little in the after hours. So we'll have to watch that. And like I said, I think some of them could bounce tomorrow. We'll be watching it to see what they want to do. IBM, look at that nice dip right there. So it was interesting today. A lot of big dips going on, that's for sure. And your Palantir was trying to spike up. They had some earnings yesterday. They were pretty good. So it had been running yesterday. And so yeah, that's what you got for Palantir right there today. And again, it was already running up. It was higher yesterday. It was in like the 164s, and then it just started to dip down there. So you never really got back up to that area. This is kind of where it closed at the other day. So anyway, it still jumped up there a little bit for that Palantir. Here's your SoFi anyway. And this one's been pulling back, and that looks like it's in the basement, going to pull back a little bit more as well. And Mara Riot, I forgot which ones were next. Mara and Riot and Clean Spark right here. And again, crypto just not looking good, guys. So these guys can't run. That's why we could probably add these with the ABTC and BMNR and SBET and all them guys and wait until crypto. You notice I stuck them to the side for a reason right there. And even Clean Spark right there. Like I said, Clean Spark might be the one that can buck the trend just because it's kind of more of an AI data center than really a crypto miner anymore. So they could kind of run right there. They were smart and did the right pivot, that's for sure. And strategy right here is a bad strategy right now for Sayer. I must say, I don't think he saw this happening. That's for sure. And look at this. Shares hit fresh lows Tuesday as Bitcoin slumps to around 73K. And as a matter of fact, let's go through it and see right after we look at Robinhood right here, which is dipping down. And I think this is a direct hit, obviously, of Bitcoin. Coinbase is clearly one because it's clearly the crypto platform. And even Bull. So yeah, I think these guys are getting slaughtered because of crypto is getting slaughtered as well. And there you go, Bitcoin at 76 right now, but it did dip down pretty good. It was at what, 73, 74, I forget, 72.8. So it did get way down there, guys. And yeah, like I said, it's still just beat down, coming down, and just hanging. We have to see if it's going to level down here. It could even level down as it stays in the basement right here for Bitcoin. I won't even go through the rest of them because they don't even matter at this moment. But yeah, Bitcoin, that could level down even, guys. So if it levels down, you're coming into the low 70s right there and staying in it. So yeah, it's not a great look, that's for sure right there for crypto. And obviously we'll be going over it, keeping an eye on it as we always do. And let's see, space was up a little bit, but again, That one, we'll see if it's ready to get set up. I'm not exactly sure just yet. Boeing right here, that was up in the top, pulled back, and now it could get set up. But again, yeah, you have to look at it. DJT coming back a little bit, and then your Nike right here was down as well. And McDonald's was up a little bit. It was just bouncing around. But look at that McDonald's. Every time the market's red, guys, look at McDonald's. I'm telling you, it's so weird, but it does run. Disney right there coming back down, confirms in an SEC filing its 2026 leadership transition. Yeah, Disney's CEO, the CEO and Dana Ward, the president, Iger's leaving. I know that. So, what's it say? Effective March 18th. So, leadership transition, Josh D'Amaro to become the CEO and Dana Walden, the president and chief creative officer, effective March 18th, with Bob Iger remaining a senior advisor and board member through year end, while ESPN wins regulatory clearance for its billion-dollar acquisition of NFL media assets, including NFL Network and Red Zone. Morgan Stanley resumes coverage at overweight with 135 price target. Wow. So that's crazy right there. If ESPN is going to be buying NFL Network and Red Zone, that's going to be pretty wild, huh? Because NFL Network is owned by NFL Films, I believe. I have to look into this. Yeah, NFL media assets. Yeah, that's wild, guys. That's pretty crazy. Not gonna lie. So I'm surprised the NFL is selling that, to be completely honest with you. That's what I'm surprised about. But anyway, there you go. That's some news out of Walt Disney World right there, because they own ESPN and ABC and all that good stuff. So there you go with DIS, and keep an eye on that right there. So interesting news right there to look at. And Oxy, I said, looks pretty good and could continue up tomorrow. And your DXYZ right here is looking good again. Not too bad. It does looks like it's getting set up right here. A SpaceX talks happening, trading an Echo Star. Which one is that Echo Star? I always forget about that one too. What is that? That's a SATS right here. And yeah, we have to keep an eye on that Echo Star as well. Let me jot that down over here. Maybe that's what we take Unity off of, or Chewy. We add SATS to it, Echo Star. This is going to be a good one right there. So there you go, everybody. And I'd say that's the list that we usually look at. And I'd keep you guys posted on the Pro Bowl. The AFC's 16 and the NFC's 14 in the Pro Bowl games. That's what they call it, the Pro Bowl games, powered by Verizon, huh? So that's it right there. I don't know. I think it's still continuing, but they play flag football. That's pretty interesting, to be honest. I don't know if I ever even knew that. Maybe I knew that. Did they do it last year? I have no idea. I don't remember. Anyway, Asian stocks decline after U.S. tech-driven sell-off. Stocks fall as S&P 500 dragged down by tech is the selling over. And Walmart hits $1 trillion market value, joins the club dominated by big tech giants. And Trump signs bill to end short-lived shutdown. And he should sign a bill and a pardon to release Joe Exotic as well. And then the S&P 500 futures are a little changed after tech sell-off, drags down major averages right there. So that is what we're looking at right now. Let me take a look and see what you guys are looking at. Let's see something real quick. I'm just interested. What is trending? We haven't really looked at what was trending on StockTwits in a little while. I kind of forgot all about it, to be completely honest, but let's look at it real quick. AMD's down, SMCI's up, PayPal's down, NVO, because there was a bunch of them down. I just didn't remember them all. NVO, look at this thing. This one, Novo Nordisk, got destroyed. NVIDIA's down. And then this one was up, ENPH right here, Enphase Energy. And that one's run way up there, and I guess that's a earnings one as well. Where'd the cursor go? Here it is. There we go. And yeah, that was an earnings one right there for ENPH. So interesting. Chipotle down a little bit right there. I thought it was up today, but maybe it's down. Yeah, in the after hours, it's definitely down for Chipotle. Did they have earnings? Yeah, it looks like they might have. Snow's way down. Oh, that path. what the path is going down right here. Whoa, that path is down. So that looked way better when it was over here trying to get set up. It looked like it wanted to run, and then that path came straight down. So interesting right there. That's what they look like. Let's see what our gold and silver real quick. Again, GLD, that was up today. And again, I think gold looks a little bit better than the silver at the moment. As you can see, silver could dip down a little bit. It's trying to curl up. I'll have to look at it in the morning. It doesn't have as good a look as gold, but I'm not saying it can't turn around. And or they could both pull back. I don't know. We'll have to look at them in the morning to see exactly what they want to do. But your J Nug and these were up, and again, they just don't look perfect to me. So we have to keep an eye on them tomorrow. They have these massive runs right now where they bounce and then they pull back. But again, it's on that trend line. Could try to curl back up and run. We'll have to look at the gold and that situation just in the morning right there. Let's take a look and see. Your Dow is what, up a little bit. Your S&P is up a little bit. No, it looks like it's kind of flat right there. All of these look, that's down a little bit. Your Nasdaq, just a hair. Your Russell is down. So yeah, they're just down a little bit right there. Here's your metals right here. And yeah, gold looks good. Silver, like I said, it does look pretty decent right there. Your copper, not too bad. I mean, that has that look like it could have a little healthy pullback. Platinum looks pretty good. Palladium looks pretty good. And that could just be a little healthy pullback, but they do look like they could get moving. So we have to keep an eye on them in the morning, obviously, and see exactly what they want to do. How about that TIRX right there? That was running up that China small cap one. Recently ran, and I think you had mentioned that laptop travel on one of your lists recently anyway. So there you go. And let's see what you guys want to see this evening. And we'll hop off if you guys want to go enjoy this weird Pro Bowl where they're playing flag football and dudes crawling around. They must have scored a touchdown. They were all laying on the ground or something celebrating. I don't even know what's going on over there. But anyway, let's take a look and see what's going on. Over here, SMCI, like I said, that was up in the after hours, looking pretty good on the earnings right there. Look at Tech Resources right here. Not too bad. That actually looks good, Luis Rodriguez, like that. USAR looking pretty decent as well, I must say, to go into tomorrow. And UAMY looking good too. So keep an eye on them. And UEC, the uranium energy, Michael Anthony likes that. That is looking good. I meant to look at REMX right there. That looks really good too. Keep an eye on this one. You know, that one could easily get running back up. REMX and critical metals we checked out. That was running today, looking pretty good. And also MPUUUU, all of them looking good. Your bread financials, what? Hold on. BFH right here, that is trying to move right back up, Luis Rodriguez. Look at that thing. That one's pretty wild right there. BFH, Bread Financial Holdings. That one's going to give you some bread right there. Applied Digital right here. That is trying to pop back up after that nice little dip it had. And remember, this theme was an electronic company. Wow, that's looking really good. That was trying to get set up the other day. Or I won't say the other day, like a week or two ago. I remember back here. And then it kind of just like fizzled out, but now it looks way better for that FEIM. And TerraWolf was running pretty big today. Just be careful of it tomorrow. And COPX, Global X Miners right there. Copper one. That looks really good. COPX, keep an eye on that. That is looking really good right there. Laptop Travel did say he got out of GameStop and GMEU today. So there you go. He is not liking the GameStop world anymore. And you sold your AMPX when we hit the Discord point right there. So there you go. And yeah, no, I think it still looks pretty good for tomorrow. So I got some more on that one, but it is looking pretty decent in the after hours right there. So AMPX looking good. Light right here has been pretty good. That's for sure. LITE, that was, whoa, look at that thing running up in the after hours. They have earnings, I guess, today. And it looks like it. And that thing was running up, and that wasn't a light run up with $36 right there. So there you go. LITE looking good. Whoop, I just scrolled right through where I was trying to look. Earth Minerals went scorch fire. You did say that. I said that earlier. In the $69 on the SPY is a decimal misplacement in the data feed. If a trade is reported as 69 instead of 690, charting platforms often pick up this picked this up as a day low, creating that long, thin wick. You said you saw it on what, Traders Think or Swim or something? So, yeah, I think Luis Rodriguez saw that again today. We saw it yesterday. It was so bizarre with that weird SPY dip. Look, it fixed itself. Look, because there's the daily chart. It was all the way wicked down to like $69. It was so crazy. It was like the wildest thing. I said I had posted. I wish I could have bought that dip, but obviously it was a glitch. And let's see. ERO. I think that's a metals one too. What is it? Copper. I couldn't think of the metal. ERO. Yeah, that's looking really good. I'd say copper looking pretty good for tomorrow, guys. That's for sure. Silver is up $2 in the after hours, so that's interesting right there. So yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on them. You said it's at what, 78.59. So there you go. Goro right here. GORO. That's that gold one. Laptop travel trying to roll right back up. Watt right here. Ariel had mentioned this yesterday. As a matter of fact, we were talking about that this morning. And the small caps, or Ariel mentioned it yesterday on the small caps. We were talking about it today, this morning. And Lunar right here, not looking bad. I know that's trying to run back up right there. So there you go. DVA blew past the earnings. That's the Vidia. And that's a medical care. That one did get ripping right there. You can keep an eye on that. It's all about power. Laptop travel said. And let's see, DXYZ is a SpaceX play, of course. UNH keeps drifting lower right there. And for traffic's down at Chipotle, the stock is down $3 in the after hours. Wow. That's what they said. Their traffic's down, huh? I don't doubt it. I mean, I don't really like Chipotle. They just opened two of them near me, to be honest. And I'm not eating there. And I guess they're crowded. I don't know how crowded they really are, but yeah, I don't really like Chipotle that much. And yeah, that's I think we've talked about it before, but there you go. And foot traffic is down again. I mean, the cost of everything's if you're going to go to Chipotle, you might as well just go buy a steak at this point. I mean, it's the same goddamn price. You can like go here to Chipotle or fast food, or you can go get like a cheesesteak or anything you want. I mean, everything's like $20. It doesn't really matter. At least around here, it doesn't. And yeah, it's just bizarre. So I don't know why you would choose Chipotle and not go get something better. But anyway, that's that. And let's see what else is going on here. Fun fact about Disney stock in the last 10 years. The rate of return on the stock price is around 0%. Really, that's interesting, Luis Rodriguez. And we were talking about Chevron and ExxonMobil waiting on Iran developments. Toyota Motor, what is that up to right now? Your TM right here, and that's up in the after hours, Luis Rodriguez. Look at that bad boy. I forget which one we were talking about was in the dungeon. Adobe. I do remember what it was. It was this one. Whoa, this one took a nice dip there today. So we'll watch for that. And let's see. You propose having a nightly list from Michael Anthony, maybe call it Michael Anthony's merchandise. That would be great. And it honors the rule of stop gambling, start merchandising. These are companies that run like a business selling physical goods people actually need, not what the heck is that? Something just popped up on my other screen. I have no idea. No, I don't want to keep up with your show in sports. No, I don't want this. What the heck is this crap? Anyway, let me see. It covered the whole screen, so I couldn't see what was going on. That run like a business, sell physical goods people actually need, not vaporware or dreams. That's too funny because that's basically what Michael Anthony always says. However, I suspect the list would be the same every night. Yeah. ABEO, DLO, UEC, LW, Tiger, Pepsi. He does like Pepsi right now. And it's still up. Wow, look at that Pepsi move, guys. Whoa, if you guys would have listened to Michael Anthony, holy cow, I think it went up like over $20 right there. That's pretty wild. So there you go. He was right about Pepsi, that's for sure. And let's see what else is going on. What is that? I don't even know what that is, Luis Rodriguez. It blends. Oh, there are clouds with rain, maybe, I guess. Or something, thunderstorms with the SMCI. Inverse Kramer strikes again. There you go. It's thunderstorms, SMCI. Yeah, I'd say so. You took a leap of faith here today with MicroStrategy purchased a leap call. So interesting right there. Luis Rodriguez buying a leap way out, so he's buying it way deep. Going into the earnings, it's an interesting call right there, Luis Rodriguez. It is down, so we'll definitely watch it for you. You know that. How are you, deleted? How are you doing? And AREB, whatever the heck you call it. What is it called? American Rebel Holdings. And that one did just reverse split. Was that yesterday right there? Yesterday, it reverse split. And it is down some more. I look at that tomorrow. Deleted with that reverse split. AREB. I'll jot it down right here. I think we did know they were reverse splitting their footwear company, American Rebel. I'm pretty sure. And we're doing pretty well. Deleted. Can't complain over here. You know that. And yeah, let's look at this one tomorrow. We'll see if it actually does want to get set up off of that reverse split, or if it's going to dip down a little bit more. And your TSE right here is what? Trinseo? I'm not familiar with this specialty chemical company right here, but that doesn't look too bad. That looks like it's trying to get curled up right there for TSE. So, I mean, it definitely looks like it on FinViz. Doesn't look too bad right there. Just kind of hopping around at that 45-cent area. Like I said, not familiar with it, but if it doesn't get rolling off the MACD, and it does look like it wants to, it's going to wait for this trend line to come down. We know it does that very often, and then it gets popping. So it's either going to try to roll off and you'll be able to catch up to this and it'll runs up, or it may just kind of bounce around right here, deleted, and wait for this trend line to make it pop. So we'll keep an eye on it. TSE, I'll keep an eye on that as well. I'll look at that. It's an interesting look right there. And AREB. So yeah, well, I'll look at them ones. Let's see what else is going on right here. Sorry, excuse me. Let me see what else. Let me see. Let's go over here. Oh, not that one. I didn't want to look at that. I wanted to look at the most active ones right here. And let's see if they have anything good for us. That TIRX, there's that ZSL right there. That silver short, and GXAI running up. Gaxo's XI. We were looking at that. There's ASST. Intel right there. That wasn't too bad today. It was kind of dipping down. We were looking at it there. Look at that dust right there. That's that gold miners one, and that's a bear one. ONDS was trying to bounce back up. Sophie plug, we already looked at. Pfizer right here was down a little bit. Laptop travel, we'd been looking at that one as well. Let's see what else is going on. This is a micro strategy long one. That's down there. Qs were dipping down, obviously. Here's Ford right here. That was pulling back a little. And Snapchat did get destroyed right there. Look at DNN right here. Denson Mines could be a good one. That's a uranium play right there. So let me jot down DNN. I always forget about that. Denson Mines, and no problem. They're deleted. There's that SOAR right there bouncing around. And BMNU is a 2-time long BMNR, but they're not looking so good. That big bear was up a little after it pulled back a little bit more. And let's see, Apple, like I said, Apple looking pretty good right there. Maybe you get a run up. If the market switches around, Apple's going to go blasting off tomorrow, I bet. Fubo right here did dip down a little bit more today. And Microsoft had a nice dip, and a grab was pulling back there as well. So that's what the market looked like right there, as you can see. And let me see what else is going on here. I think we got everything, to be completely honest. We even went through the old trending ones on stock twits. I forgot about them, to be honest, and everything else. So Michael was right about Marvell. Did he say it was going down? Because it was down right there. I don't know. I don't really remember what he said, to be completely honest with you, but it definitely dipped down. Did he say it was going down before it popped up? I don't really remember, but he might have. He says it a lot about everything. He's going to be hopping on right now. We're going to be hopping off because I think we're pretty good, and you guys can go enjoy the Pro Bowl, even though they play like flag football. But like I said, I think that's better than them being in pads and really not doing anything out there. At least they can like run around and play and do flag football. So that's interesting. And like I said, I'm not even sure if I knew that they even did that, to be honest with you. So that's going on this evening. So you guys can go watch that. That's what our market looks like right there. I'll do the night note in the Discord, pop it in there. So if anybody's interested in that, and of course, we'll cover the market at 7 a.m. So that's what it looks like this evening, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Of course, our crypto is down. I mean, it's not looking great either, to be completely honest with you. It could level down a little more. I'll watch it. We'll go over it each morning and night. You know that. And I'll keep an eye on it and let you guys know. If it does want to level down, it might. So he said it's going to 77, was at 81 for Marvell. Did he really? That's interesting right there. I don't even remember. But there you go. It very well could go there. So he made that similar call on Bitcoin. I do remember he made a crazy call on Bitcoin that one time. Michael Anthony. He does have great calls. That's for sure. He has look at Pepsi. I mean, holy shit, look at that one. He does give out some great ones right there, guys. I must say he knows the market for sure. And so that's why he's a great listener and a great contributor, because he's a lot of fun. And then I have no idea what he's talking about. Now he has his own AI program and everything else. And we'll go through the ETF now that I'm finally done my Joe Exotic video, because that was taking a while to put all that, to edit that and all that good stuff. But I'm going to post it up tonight, so you guys look out for that. Be sure to watch it, like it, and retweet it for Joe Exotic. Help the poor guy out. He's been in prison for 8 years. I mean, it's sad. We were already talking about it. So you guys check that out as well. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Deleted and Luis Rodriguez, and, of course, Zach and Doge Mama 9, Laptop Travel. Luis Rodriguez is always here. Sam's always hanging out. Robin's hanging out. And Joseph Levy. Who else did I miss? Let me know who I missed right there. I got to make a whole list of people that always are tuned in, so I can thank everybody. Like Deleted, he doesn't always comment, but he's always on there. And so many other people, like Doge Mama 9 doesn't comment every night, but she's always on there. And so many others. So I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, just let me know that you listen to the show all the time, and I'll give you a shout out. How's that? Even if you don't always comment or comment at all. And again, thanks a lot. And be sure to like the show on your way out of here. Follow along on X, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. All information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. And of course, we'll be on at 7 a.m. to see what the market's going to be doing tomorrow morning on a Wednesday morning. I think it could be bouncing back up. You had this really red day right here, guys, and I think you could see a little bit of a bounce. I don't know if you'll see it on the DPY, but maybe on the SPY right here, it's hitting that trend line right there. And so did the Q. So I do think we could see a bounce with no problem. Will happen immediately. I'm not sure. We'll go through it at 7 a.m. and see what it looks like there. What Bitcoin at 76,000, if that can move. And thank you, Doge Mama 9. So greatly appreciate all of you guys hanging out and always all the feedback and everything else. So you guys enjoy your night. Enjoy some flag football there. It's the Pro Bowl, and that's what they do. I had no idea, or maybe I did. I have no idea. How long have they been doing that for? I'll have to look into it, because I don't know if I even knew that they play. I kind of think they did it last year, but I didn't really remember. And so, yeah, interesting right there. And all eyes on Google tomorrow. They do have their earnings tomorrow, right? Yeah, that's right. We were talking about it. So, yeah, I would say all eyes on Google tomorrow, and a lot of things. I think there's a lot of them going tomorrow. So we'll get the earnings list tomorrow morning. I'll pull that up as well. I know I posted it out the other day because Luis Rodriguez put it up there. But, yeah, I'll find out all the ones for tomorrow. I'll jot them down. We'll go through them all and keep an eye on them. And we'll see what they want to do as well. So thanks again, everybody. You enjoy your night. Enjoy some Pro Bowl action. And then enjoy that Joe Exotic interview. I'm going to post that up. So be sure to check that out and post it out to everybody. So thanks again. And I will see you guys at 7 a.m. Have a good night, everybody.